If you've been on the internet at all for the entirety of this past week, you would have seen something about the Sketch situation. A young male creator who has been taking the entire internet by storm got exposed for some stuff in his past that he's not entirely proud of. I'm not going to dive too deep into the information because frankly, it's not my life. It's not really my business to even be speaking on it. I did want to speak on the lessons that we can learn from A, how he handled it, and B, how the internet reacted to this news. I understand that I am primarily a fitness and weight loss channel and I will be connecting it to that, but more than anything, my business, my fitness, my content is around people and people's stories. And if you can learn how to understand people, you can learn how to understand yourself, and you can learn how to make progress from that. So when the initial Sketch news dropped, obviously Twitter exploded. People were freaking out. Was it really Sketch? Was it really someone else? Now again, I don't plan on showing any of the necessarily images or anything else that got leaked. Again, not my business. I don't really enjoy talking about other people's personal lives. But the main thing that was found out once he came out and admitted to this news, he wasn't hurting anybody. Yet there is a very large portion of the community saying that he did something terribly, terribly wrong, but he didn't hurt anyone. He was going through a hard time. He said it was a very dark time himself. And he even spoke and got very candid about possibly even hurting himself had this news gotten out and had he had not been around the right people. That's some very, very heavy stuff. And there are still people crusading on the internet talking about how he shouldn't have lied about his situation, calling him out, but a lot of it is just straight up homophobia, which is already disgusting in its own right, but it is creating a lot of dialogue and it's teaching men something incredibly important. With all of the outreach and all of the opinions and so many people, including myself unfortunately, giving their opinions on the situation, it's teaching young men empathy. Now again, I'm a fitness channel. I talk about fitness 99% of the time on all of my social media platforms. I find Sketch hilarious, but the thing that has been genuinely warming my heart about this entire situation is A, knowing that Sketch is okay and that he owned up to everything even though there wasn't really that much to own up to. He said he made mistakes and it was in the past. However, the best lesson that we can learn as a society and as men is empathy. Naturally, I'm a very empathetic person, but most men just aren't, especially younger men in this generation. Call it Gen Z, Gen X, whatever the hell you want to call it. Even a lot of millennials. There are so many lonely men that closet their beliefs, closet the way that they really truly feel about a certain topic because they feel like no one is going to listen. And even Sketch, someone who had taken the internet by storm, got so low to the point where he felt like he had no one and that he had to leave this earth. And that is incredibly heartbreaking to hear. But back to the empathy I mentioned earlier. There have been dozens, hundreds, thousands of posts of guys saying, you know, this whole situation really opened up and showed me that LGBTQ plus people really aren't that bad. Now, is it the best way to come about this and maybe speak on the whole situation? No, not really. But what it is doing, it's taking an idol of millions of young men and showing them that he can have flaws and they can learn more about the world and have empathy for other people. Maybe they don't fully understand Sketch's situation, but because of everything that's happened, millions of young men have been shown that it is okay to own up to your mistakes, own up to your flaws, be more empathetic to people that maybe aren't 100% like them. It's breaking a lot of the whole boys will be boys mentality and killing a lot of the toxicity that goes around men speaking to other men, especially with younger straight males in their early 20s. We're lonely. And the topic of homosexuality is still kind of a touchy one, even though some guys are very open about it and they joke about it and they don't judge anyone for it. They have empathy for others. It's still a pretty massive issue amongst this young demographic of guys. And Sketch is slowly changing that. Whether he meant to or not, young men are opening up their eyes that other people can live lifestyles that they may not agree with, but they can still like the person. And that empathy is the start and the catalyst of something so much better. Sketch opening up and being honest about the situation and also saying and being open and honest about how severe his feelings got, and the absolute outpour of all of these other celebrities like streamers like Queso and Jinxie pouring out support and outreach for Sketch, but it's teaching young men in their early 20s how to be empathetic, how to reach out, how to talk about their feelings, and how to build a support system of other men. I have very candid conversations with men about very uncomfortable topics of conversation. Weight loss is not very glamorous. I'm a full-time weight loss coach, and I have seen men break down to their worst and confide within me. Sometimes I get fully dumped on like I'm a therapist. I am not a therapist. But because a lot of men who I work with, majority men, do not have a support system to reach out to that is of masculine energy, they take whatever they can get. So the lesson that we can learn is, as a man, be okay with sharing your feelings to other men. I tell my friends regularly, hey, I love you and I appreciate you. Thank you for today if we were hanging out. I am the #1 cheerleader for all of my friends, and I vocalize my appreciation to everyone in my life. And I am trying to start a movement among men through my content on social media, yes, around fitness, but just in general. Men need to support other men. Stop holding all your feelings inside. You can still be that beacon of strength and masculinity that you want to, but also have a brotherhood to be a part of. There are so many more people struggling with the same exact issues that you are, and you have no idea how much they relate to you, but no one refuses to open up. But now, thanks to this sketch situation, things have opened up a little bit more. And is it perfect? No. Was a lot of really disgusting stuff said to and about Sketch? Yeah, and it's really unfortunate. But I choose to believe the way he handled it was A, hilarious, and B, opened up even more conversation that's going to lead to so much more positivity in the long run. Again, this isn't my normal typical content, but I'm gonna start making more about this stuff because I think it's important. Don't worry, the fitness stuff isn't gonna go away, the weight loss stuff isn't going to go away. They're tied in way more than we think it is. Now, I understand that my opinion does not matter much to the situation, and there are way too many people weighing in on the whole situation in general and just giving their opinions, basically just saying, oh, I'm okay with this, or oh, I'm not okay with this. That's not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the impact that it's going to have on men, and hopefully that's what I was able to get across today. To be honest, I'm trying to come up with like a cheesy tagline to finish this video off with, but I honestly don't know. I don't really make videos about other people very often. I'll just say that more people relate to your situation than you think you do, and empathy and giving will always come back tenfold. And I think Sketch is a perfect example of that. He has given the internet and his friends so much and so much entertainment and love and positivity that it all came back to him in droves in one of his darkest times. And we need to see that more amongst men across the world. More fitness content coming soon. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, I don't really have much of an outro for this one. Go check out my other videos if you're interested more in the fitness side of things. But other than that, I will talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day, and tell somebody you love them. Keep it simple, big fella.